Okay, so I think we're recording now. Yeah, we're recording now. So for those not familiar, JavaScript 30 is just a site. You just go to javascript30.com. Wes Boss made this, and it's a really awesome course just to learn fundamentals, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I've I've done it multiple times myself. It's good practice when you're going into front end interviews. So I usually just go through it. Like I don't do all the exercise when I'm gonna go into front end interviews just to like refresh. I just like watch the videos again, usually just to, because I don't typically use all the stuff in all the exercises that he does. So since our community has a lot of people doing React, a lot of the boot camps do React, and a lot of people already did this, I thought it'd be fun to just try and do the exercises in React just to see the difference between doing it in vanilla and doing it in React. So last week we did the drum kit. I got the audio working this time. So now last week we didn't have the audio because still learning how to do this Zoom stuff. Did anybody else go and do it? Anybody who was here was anybody here last week? If you did a different solution, if you want to share it, just let me know before we get started, and we can look at different implementations, because there's like a million ways you can do it, right? This is just how I did it on the fly. Like I'm not doing these exercises in advance. I'm waiting till we come together and then just hacking on it with all of your help. So this was last week. And if you're new to Code Sandbox, you can just go to Code Sandbox. Also, Coin Market Cap. Gotta check the Bitcoin price. Go to Code Sandbox. Let me give you the link. And then when you click Create Sandbox, you can create a new one. So you don't need to do this right now if you want, but if you want to like code while I'm coding like in a different sandbox, you can go ahead and do that. I usually pick the React sandbox that just gives you like a boilerplate React sandbox. So like if you can just start making your app already, and it just hot reloads right here. And if you want to join me inside of this Code Sandbox just to get a better view of the code, I can give you the link that allows you to just jump right into the sandbox that I'm in. And audio issues. Can you not hear me talking? Maybe try reconnect it. Can everybody else hear me talking? Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Any other questions before we jump right in? This week's one, the clock one, I think is easier than the drum kick exercise. So we might be able to move a little quicker. But before I go on, any questions, comments about anything? It doesn't even need to be about the exercise, about last week's thing. Setup. So, hey, Jesse. No setup, but if you want to come into the Code Sandbox, there's this. You can also code along on yourself in your own sandbox. If you want to try and do, we're doing the this JS clock exercise. We're not going to watch the video because the video is like 10 minutes long. But if you sign up for JavaScript 30, and then when you go into your account, you can stream all the videos over here. But so for future, if you want to watch the video, if you haven't watched it yet, I suggest watching it before coming to the meetup. But you can also watch it after we do it too. It doesn't really matter. And then this is the GitHub. This is the starter code if you want to code along in your own code sandbox, or you don't even have to use code sandbox. You can just code along in your local coding environment. So the way this works, last week we did it where I kind of just build the app and you can ask me questions along the way. I didn't do any preparations, just so you can see my process, like how I build the app. Like if I was gonna just do this challenge, like I'm just doing it from scratch, no preparation. This is how like I really would approach this situation, just so you can see what my thought process is like after doing this for many years. I will see if I can even figure it out. I don't know. If not, you guys are all here to help me build the app. So, and at any time, if anybody has any question, you can just start talking, or if you're shy, you can put in the chat. So what I usually do, especially last week, I just did this. I started with the CSS because West Boss gives us a bunch of the CSS. The final product looks like this. For those who haven't done this clock exercise before, it's just an analog clock. So he gives us a bunch of CSS. So I figure we start with that. In Code Sandbox, if you click here, oh, wrong one, this one. There's like a style CSS. And then I'm just gonna replace everything that was there to get that. I'm gonna go back and grab his HTML. So as you can see, this app doesn't have that much to it. We're gonna have to write the JavaScript because that's what this whole thing is, right? JavaScript 30, but we're doing it in React. So if you were doing this in vanilla JavaScript, the script is empty if you start with the index start. So Jesse's asking about the sandbox. If you do want to jump in and code at some point, like you got an idea, just let me know, and then I can enable you to, I can make you a collaborator too. So Code Sandbox, you can do pair programming. You just go here and you just click like make this person an editor. But I don't want to make everybody editors, otherwise we'll like might have like tons of people typing all at the same time. But if you do get ideas and you want to try it out, just let me know. So let's see what we got. So we got this. So we got a lot of the app already. We got the clock. We got all the hands. I'm assuming there are 3 hands, but they're all overlapping each other, because if you look at it here, they all kind of look the same. So they're probably just all overlapping each other. So it's not centered like his though. Let's try get it in the center. Let's see what he got here. So let's do clock. So what if we just do, what if we, anybody have ideas the best way to center this? We can just do margin auto, I'm thinking. Oh, that's what he did.
I think you can justify content center on the body.
Oh, good call. He already has it as a, boom. Who is that? you win. You got the job. Except I don't have money to pay you, sorry, but you're hired.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So we got it centered. So the first thing I'm thinking is we need to update the hands every second, right? Because that's how a clock works. Like every second, the state of the clock needs to update. So I think in like on page load, we use effect and we just start an interval every second, and then we just get the date every second. Then that way, from a date object, you can pull out the seconds, minutes, hours, and then we can kind of figure out how to move this. But first, let's pop up in the console, see what's incorrect right now, because I just copied the HTML, right? So let's fix up the errors first before we create more errors. Then it'll be like hard to fix stuff if we just add on more errors. So let's fix these. There's no class in React, right? So let's see. I wonder if you can select multiple. Nope. Does anybody know if you can select
It's
multiple?
It's like Control D, right?
Which is it? Control D?
Yeah, I don't know if you're on a Mac. One Windows Control D.
No,
So Command D on Mac.
Mac is
Yeah,
kind of Command D.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I did Command. Let's see.
I don't know if.
Yeah, I got it. It was Command D.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Is it? I think this uses VS Code. I just started using VS Code this week. I've been a WebStorm user for years, and I'm finally capitulating and joining everybody else that's using VS Code.
Welcome to
There's
the
a lot of
party,
really
man.
cool stuff you could do in VS Code.
Yeah, so that's why I'm joining, because if everybody's using it, I can just find out all the cool stuff from everybody else, right? So it's easier. There's less people that use WebStorm, even though WebStorm is super powerful. Okay, let's see if we got rid of all the errors. Boom, all the errors are gone. So, all right, any questions, comments? Does my idea sound good? I'm gonna do a set interval on page load. So what I'm thinking is we do like we also need to keep track of the date object. So I'm thinking we do something like date or actually we should keep state of the degree amount for the let's just get the date going first. So we can do const now equals new date, and then
Hey Sam, just curious. Do you intend to make this a React app for a reason? Because it seems like it could just be pure JavaScript.
just so people can learn React. A lot of people in the community use React, so just to like see the difference between doing it in React and vanilla JavaScript, since a lot of people have done these exercises in vanilla JavaScript. Yeah, so it's just to like play around with React.
Cool, thanks.
So if we do this, and then let's just console log some stuff now. See what that looks like. So I'm getting a new date every second. And then I think other than that, you can do like seconds. So equals get seconds. Let's see. So we can see it's going 46, 47. And then what does it do when it gets to 60? 60. Okay, it goes back to 0. So that's kind of what we want, right? Like there's 60 seconds. We just got to convert that to degrees. So let's see.
6 degrees.
So it's 360 degrees in a circle.
Or 6 degrees.
So 6 degrees? No, but we need the exact amount, you know, because if it's here, then it's like certain amount of degrees. The hand needs to move.
Well, it's 6 degrees times the number of seconds.
Oh, yes, sorry.
But
Each interval is 6 degrees.
oh, I see what you're saying. First of all, before we do that, I just noticed the hand is here. The hand should start vertically though, like the clock in the default state should be vertically, right? So let's adjust the CSS for like the default state, I'm thinking. Let's see. So each of these, it's using a hand class. So let's see. Where is
Line 38.
line 38? Okay, and then what would that be? Transform. What is it? Degree? Anybody remember the syntax? Rotate.
Rotate
90 degrees.
Rotate 90 degrees.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, just
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I do wrong? That doesn't look right. Rotate origin. Maybe the origin needs to be.
Yeah, 100%.
What is it?
Transform origin.
Transform origin. Can
Yeah,
you do it all on one?
100%.
Can you do it all on one line? Wait, who's talking? Can I enable you and you type it?
I'm not viewing, I'm coding on my own, but
Okay.
I don't think you can type it all on one line. I think it needs to be its own because it's transform dash origin.
0? Oh.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Boom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got all the hands there. Let's see what the final one looks like. That looks kind of right? Let's see. Okay, that looks like a good starting point, I think. So then if we get the seconds, and then let's do, so we need the degrees for the seconds, right? So log seconds. So what is it? Seconds will increase by 6 degrees. So seconds times 6.
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see if that works. We got to store it in state though, right? Because then what I'm thinking is we rotate it just that many degrees. So use state, and then here we, instead of console logging this, we'll do set. Oh, I gotta make the variable first. Actually, let's simplify this. So let's just store the date. equals use state. Then in here, we'll just keep updating the date. Like that. Then we don't need so many things in state. Then, oh, what did I do? Set is not defined. Oh, I can't name this date. Maybe. Did I do something wrong? Do you guys see?
Do you need
date.
initial value for use state?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it doing? Why does it say set is not defined? Do you see something I'm doing wrong?
Can you give the use state some like initial value?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand where state is actually being stored right now.
In use state, the function.
Like that?
I don't think the hot reloading was
Just
working.
in
for
the
me.
brackets, put some value, like an empty string.
I don't think you need a value though.
Or you don't?
We can just put like a new date like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot reloading was messed up. I think Brian is right. So if we do that, and then now let's console log here, just to make sure that's updating. Yeah, that's updating. So if we do like what should we call it? Second hand degree, second hand angle. I don't know. Second hand angle equals, what was it? Now that get seconds. And then we said times that by 6, right?
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get this thing to tick. So if we do the rotate thing, we just go like this, right? Transform, rotate. I'm gonna need to interpolate this. And then we can say second hand angle, degree. Boom! You guys are awesome. I don't even need to think. You guys are just telling me what to write. Any questions with this so far? We got the second hand ticking, but the minutes and the hours is probably going to be really similar, right? What do you guys think about this approach or what we did so far? Any questions, comments, confused
It's
about
good.
anything?
Do we need to add 90 on line 21?
On 921.
Because we had to add 90 to get it pointing up.
No,
Do
so
we need to
that was to get it into the default state, right? So that we start at 90. I just wanted it to start at 90 so that
yeah, I
Why don't we log the seconds and say what it is?
Yeah, let's do a sanity check. I see what you're saying. Maybe
Yeah,
we do have to add 90, I think.
I think it might be 15 seconds behind right now.
So let's see. Oh. Thank you. So this needs to be plus 90 then, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Just curious, what time zone are you in?
What time zone am I in?
Yeah.
I'm in Central Time. Let's console log the seconds. That would be easier to. get a sanity check on. So that looks about right now, right? It's like 48, 50.
Cool.
Sweet. So somebody else want to jump in and do the minutes? Any volunteers? Nobody? Okay. I'll keep typing. You want to try?
I would, but I don't have anything in my code sandbox. Like I'm signed in, but it doesn't show anything.
Yeah, you got to come to this link. So let me give it to you.
Is it the?
It's the live link.
Yeah.
So click on that, and then boom, I'm gonna enable you.
Oh wait, there it is.
So now you should be able to type too in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's give you a shot. Since you were helping me out a lot anyways. So let's do the minutes next. Let's just go in order: seconds, minutes, hours.
Okay, so. Oh, not that. That. So the minute hand angle is that divided by 60, because we want it to go. So I think this is divided by 10.
I think you can just do get minutes.
Yeah, you got to get the minutes because you don't know based on the seconds, like what. You can't calculate the minutes just by getting the second.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking in terms of degrees.
So you're doing get minutes divided by 10. So if it's like plus here. Wait, why is it divided by 10 though?
Because what just happened?
Let's see.
Objects are not valid as a React child.
You the JSX is malformed. This should be here.
There's a closing div.
Oh, I have an extra. Oh, I need to put it.
Yeah, just
I need to put it in there.
The angle bracket is you gotta move it straight. This angle bracket needs to come here.
Oh, that one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. Let's see. Can you console log the minutes just so we can see? Here, I can do it.
Yeah.
Actually, because I don't think you can. So it should be at 30. Right now it's 8:30.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? It's not divided by this is the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
totally.
Because it's divisions in the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
Nice.
Okay. That looks good. Does somebody else want to try to do the hours? The hours is a little different though, because it's not times 6, right? Because there's only, and I don't know if hours gives you 24 hours or 12 hours. So does anybody else want to volunteer to try and do the hours? No?
Yeah, I can do it. Let's see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you in the code sandbox?
Yeah, I'm gonna click on the link that you just sent out right now. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, so I see.
What is the shortcut for VS Code to delete a line?
Control Shift K, I think, is delete the line.
Control Shift K.
Oh yeah, Command Shift K.
Yep. Yeah, it worked.
All right, so for this one, well, I guess I gotta do the same thing.
Yeah, except the calculation is a little different.
Yeah. Well, it looks like.
Oh, I gotta enable you.
Yeah. Like nothing's going on.
Which one is your name?
There, you see me?
No, I don't. In your code sandbox, your username is Tanvir.
Oh, in the code sandbox, my username is not Tanvir.
What
it
is
should be it should be W3TSA.
W3. I don't. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, you should be able to type now.
Okay, so let's see. So this one is gonna be hour, I guess.
Yeah, and then what is
Like,
the
can I do like so?
Get hours, not a function. So get hours, maybe. It says get hours, not a function.
Okay, get hours, I guess. Okay.
So it's not going to be times 6 though, right? Because
so every minute that passes, the hour hand will move half a degree if we want it to move along with a minute instead of tick every hour. If that makes sense.
Can you say that again?
So every minute, the hour hand moves half of a degree.
Every minute, the hour hand moves half a degree?
Yes.
Oh, well, we don't need to get hours then. Oh no, we still need to get hours though, because we got to know what hour it is.
And get hours appears military time, so 0 to 24, or 0 to 23.
But this is 0 to 12 on a
on this kind of clock.
I think it's times 30.
Times 30? 24?
Yeah, I divided 360 by 12 and I got 30.
But didn't you say it's military time? Who was saying that?
Well, since it's a 12-hour clock, we can do hours mod 12 times 30.
Wait. Tanvir, go ahead, try it. Yeah.
Try one and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so right now, I'll get hours times 30, and then this is not right? So do I console log the hour then?
Yeah.
And see what it gives me?
Well, the hour, yeah, just for
Like
sanity check, just to make sure if it says 8 or if it says 20. It says 20.
Okay.
So 20.
So it's
like 8, so it's a military time.
60. Yeah, so that math doesn't seem right? 20 times.
Now you have to move the arrow to see where it goes.
So like Brian was saying earlier, it would just make like a giant increment between hours, right? So we want to gradually increase throughout the hour.
I guess it depends on how we want it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
a giant 1 hour tick or a bunch of little ticks.
So how would we do the little tick though? So we do.
You would just do a you would essentially just add like another term that has like the minutes in it. So like for the hour angle, that's fine. You just gotta add the minutes variable.
Okay, let's just do the hour first, and then we can try make it more realistic with the calculating the degrees to add on to the hour that Brian was talking about. So
Go ahead and what should I do now?
yeah, just you can just display it. Let's just see what it looks like right now. Then we can fix the math. So on line 20, just change that to hour hand angle.
Oh yeah, right. I just copy pasted, but I changed it. Okay. So let's see.
That actually looks right?
Yeah, like 8:37 right now.
How did that? So if you do.
Yeah, because the way math works for.
Oh, because it goes in a circle. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't need enough module.
So that's good. And then what was your calculation, Brian? Yeah, I'm going to enable you. Can you add it on? You're muted.
I don't have it open.
Oh, you don't have? You're in here.
Yeah. I'm paying attention, but I'm reading other stuff.
Okay, let's.
You
copy. I'm gonna
Do we
type
need
our. So we got to add on. What did you say the calculation was, Brian?
It's minutes divided by 2. So you need to get now dot get minutes divided by 2.
Let's just
add it to like the hour hand.
Minutes equals now dot get minutes. And then you said it was what?
So for line 9, just add, so basically plus now dot get minutes.
I already put in a variable.
Or you can just do minutes, right? Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be it.
Sweet. I don't think West Coast even does that. Maybe he does. Let's try to look at what. So his clock looks like that. It looks like ours. So it's pretty good. But let's see if he does that adjustment. I didn't even think about that, Brian. I was only thinking of like ticking it every hour.
It looks like he does.
He does? Or he does?
He does it a little differently.
Oh yeah. It's a little bit more simpler.
It comes down to the same calculation.
Yeah. I think it comes down to the same thing.
We just did the calculations
slightly differently
in our head before. We can clean this up a little bit. So another thing I'll do, angle offset equals 90, and then here, was it Control D? Oh, what was it again? To select. How do I select like all the text with all the same?
Are you on a Mac?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn the shortcuts.
Command D.
Mac, yeah, Mac is Command D.
So that's pretty good. Anybody have questions or comments, or did you have other ways you would do it, or have you did this before and made it more fancy? You can share it if you want with people here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, go ahead.
My question was about the last second change for the angle offset. Generally for like, I guess, readability, would you want to add variables for this kinds of like offsets, or just like more reused terms instead of just randomly putting 90 in a bunch of places randomly?
I find it easier to read and less chance for bugs, because I don't know, like in this case you probably wouldn't change it, but like if the offset were to change like in a different situation, I usually have like a constant file or something. So like if I usually like every component, like usually I have a folder if there's like a bunch of utility like functions and then maybe constants that a bunch of the files could use, because you could also reuse the constant in CSS if you're doing like CSS and JS, because then you could import the constant into the module with the CSS, and then you don't have to hard code like 90 here, right? You could reuse that constant in all the files. So yeah, generally, otherwise it just looks like it's harder to read, right? If you just do, oh wait, my AirPod just fell out. If you just put 90, we call that a magic number. Even the 6 is a magic number, right? Like if other developers come onto this code, like say you leave the team and then other people come, they're gonna have to think, why is this adding 90? It's easier if it's named. I don't know if angle offset is the best name. You could also put a comment here to be like, explain that the hand needs to be up, but
explain the math behind it.
You could,
or like the description.
On a clock, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but like all these hard-coded numbers, they're like, if people see them in the PR, they're just going to be like, what are these magic numbers? You call them magic numbers when you just hard code numbers all over the place, and it makes people have to think. Like people shouldn't have to think, they should be able to just read it and kind of understand. Like you're going to be like, why is this minutes times 6? Then they're going to have to like think about it to see if there's a bug in that code or not.
Got it.
So generally it helps.
Readability and maintainability.
This code is fairly simple, so I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but like there's like no hard rules, right, for anything. You just gotta kind of feel it out, and like sometimes you just break the rules. Like we're breaking the rules, we're putting in magic numbers, but to me it's easy enough to understand. So I would just thumbs up something like this in the PR. To me, there's no sense to even spend time on that discussion. It's not super important. You don't want to like nitpick everything like in a PR, because then it's going to take you forever to like get the real stuff done, what you need to get done. So it's like a trade-off. Any other questions, comments, either about this or about anything, or JavaScript 30 or anything you want to ask me?
What does it, the use effect, what does it do?
What is that?
The use effect, what does it do?
Use effect is to do side effects in your app. So every time it renders, right now, are you familiar with React at all?
Yeah, I'm learning it right now.
Okay, so you know, have you done class components, like React class components?
No, only functional components with the hooks.
Okay, yeah. So when you put just empty brackets like this for the second parameter, that means this code gets run only once when the component is mounted. So any code that you only want to run once when after the first render of the component, you put it in here. So that's a good place to put like a set interval. But like you could even like, if you wanted to like even refactor this, like this component is pretty simple, but like sometimes the component gets like pretty complicated and you want to make it easier to read. You could do something like const use Actually, I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it simple. Like if you want to do something every second after the component's mounted,
Yeah.
this is just a good way to do it. Actually, I can't think of any other way to solve this problem. Does anybody have like a different way?
So like if you just make set interval and like, isn't it gonna, like when it gets the new date, isn't it gonna re-render the whole component? Because you're setting this, like if you put the set
You do.
state,
You
set-
want it to re-render every second though, because the hands move every second.
Yeah, that was I was saying, like, isn't it going to render because you changed the state?
Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna keep rendering.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to keep rendering. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do this inside a use effect, you're gonna create a new interval, and then you're gonna have the intervals are gonna stack up on each other.
Okay.
And it's gonna create a new interval every second, and then it's gonna eat up all the memory in your browser.
Like an infinite loop.
Yeah, I'm too scared to even try. I don't know, I might just crash the whole sandbox.
Chrome already eats too much memory.
And then
Jokes.
if you want to be like good, whenever you create like intervals, it's good to clean it up too, because you never know, like in this case, I don't know if it would be a problem, but like just to clean it up, like you can clear it. So use the effect when you return. Wait, this needs to be in a function, I think, right? I haven't been coding that much, I forget. This is like a cleanup function in use effect. So when the component unmounts, then it will execute this function and will clear up the interval so that the browser doesn't keep running the interval. It's just to prevent leaks in the app. You generally want to do a cleanup. So if you do an interval, this is a way to clean it up.
Is this something you can do like every time you use that interval, like then return clear?
What is that?
So is this something like whenever I need to use a set interval, and if I do this return clear interval, that would kind of like make it contained, self-contained?
It will just make it so that the interval stops running if this component gets unmounted. Otherwise, I think the interval will, the browser will just keep executing that code even though you don't need it anymore, like the components.
I'm under the impression it's always a good idea to clear your interval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to prevent any memory leaks. It just could cause weird behaviors in your application. But also, if there's any people who are not in our Slack, we have a Slack group. We use Developer Army Slack. I don't know if there's any people who haven't been to our other meetups. We do AMAs every Saturday. And then I just started doing these on Sundays, where we just mob program the JavaScript 30 ones. So yeah, any other questions?
Not a question, but just a comment that this was super helpful because I've only used React class components thus far, and I'm getting ready to start learning functional components. And so seeing how you actually use the functional component here is really helpful.
Yeah, that's
it's
kind of
very
why
intuitive.
That's kind of why somebody was asking earlier, why do this in React and you can just do it in vanilla, right? I'm just doing it because it's like simple examples just to like see what it's like to do the that exercise in React.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, so for
I compare
people,
my React projects now to like things that I built in vanilla JavaScript, and it's like mind-blowing how different it is, like how much more simple using React is than just building something straight with vanilla JavaScript.
and it's way more fun.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm amazed by it every day.
Like once I started coding in React, it made my job so much more fun. Like I started, so I've been doing front end, or I've been doing JavaScript, mainly JavaScript since 2014. And when in 2014, I don't think React is out yet in 2014. I don't remember when React came out. Maybe it was out,
I think
but
that
it was
is when it
just,
came out.
it was
Yeah.
probably just in beta or something, but like companies weren't, it wasn't like a popular thing. Back then, Backbone was the hotness. So I worked at a couple different companies doing Backbone JS. And like when your app gets big, Backbone was like a mess. So when React came out with this new way of one-way data flow, it was like hard to wrap your head around at first because there was nothing else like that. But then once you wrapped your head around that, it made making apps so much more fun. I don't know. It's just, you just pass in props and state, and then stuff just shows up on the screen.
Yeah, I can easily code for like 10 hours straight and just not even realize how much the time has gone by, just because you're having so much fun creating something with it.
Yeah. And last week, that's why I was telling people, that's why I like to just hack in Code Sandbox. Like if you go inside of my Code Sandbox, I just have like a ton of sandboxes because I just come in here and I just make a whole bunch of stuff because it's more fun. I can just like play around with ideas and just make all kinds. These are all my sandboxes that I haven't deleted.
You also mentioned that it's way faster than npx create React app and waiting for a little bit and then starting.
Oh yeah. I noticed that. I started the Zoom today with Code Sandbox and it was like 2 seconds to start it up, but if I do create React app, it's like a minute. Which I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but it is.
Because they already have all the dependencies cached, I think. So then when you add a dependency, you don't have to wait for it to download. They already have it like available, I think. So it's pretty quick to just add dependencies. I use Code Sandbox whenever I'm like checking out new dependencies I haven't used before, because then I can just plop it in like a sample app and then just play around with it. And
that's actually a really good idea.
It's super good for prototyping. I did 100 days of code too. I don't know if people have done 100 days of code. It's just a challenge for people that don't know. Where is it?
Really cool challenge. I just learned about it last month and was gonna try it.
Yeah, it's just a way to like make sure that you code every day, because the best way to get better at coding is to code a lot. That's I think it's, in my opinion, it's really that simple. That's how you get better, is you code a lot. I guess you code a lot and you read other people's code. So I like to watch YouTube videos of some people, and front end masters, and Egghead IO is another one.
Oh yeah, I just joined Front End Masters.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend JavaScript The Hard Parts on Front End Masters. It's probably the best JavaScript course I ever seen. Hi, Tia Clayton. But yeah, it's by Will Sentence. I think there's a version 2 now of the JavaScript The Hard Parts. He has JavaScript, the hard parts. I think he has Node.js, the hard parts. We can just look at it. All of them are really awesome. The best. I think he's like an amazing teacher. Sentence. Oh, come there, Ben. Come up. Can't search by the hard parts. So this one, JavaScript, the hard parts. 2, I didn't watch the version 2, but it's probably updated. So hard parts are functional. I watched that one. Node.js. I watched the original hard parts. I haven't watched this one. So I watched like 4 of his courses. They're all like super awesome.
The guy who does
Cool.
you don't know JS and take your pick, JavaScript or jack shit.
I don't like that guy.
He's on there. He's in.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't like him. I like Will Sentence. I don't like his books either. Kyle Simpson.
I'm not sure. I don't really have an opinion.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I just I never could get into his stuff, the books or his like videos. I don't know why. It's just certain people that I guess that I like that just click with me. I just like I have a I don't know if people have saw my Twitter dev list. I have like a developer list.
Your opinion is totally valid. I just like I hear so many people say like how.
Yeah, no, he is popular.
Yeah, he's popular. Whatever. Yeah.
But it's just me. My personal. I don't like him.
Everybody learns differently too, so like there's a learning style.
Yeah.
That everybody meshes better with.
You can see my members. Kyle Simpson's not on there. I have 35 people on this list. Will Sentence is here. I haven't updated in a while. It's been pretty solid, this list, for a while. So Wes Boss is on here too. That's his course we're doing right now, the JavaScript 30. And then just a lot of awesome people that I've come across during my years. I add them whenever I start to like get really into their stuff. This way you can browse Twitter when there's too much noise. You can just browse it by like, there's more signal in here, you know. If I just want to browse stuff mostly about JavaScript, or I think most of the developers on my list are JavaScript or just developing general, I can just browse Twitter by looking at this list, because then it's only stuff they posted or retweeted or liked. And that's also how you can discover new people too, because they will like and retweet stuff from people that they like, you know.
Lists are awesome. It's like, it really is the only way to focus on Twitter.
Yeah, the normal feed can get noisy, especially when there's like some like social unrest or something crazy happening. It's just like all kinds of people, especially if it's a really like polarizing kind of thing, then it's just people just like yelling at each other back and forth. But if you look at the list, like you can filter out like a lot of the noise, or you can mute words when there's stuff like that happening. If you want to try to like get rid of some of the noise in your feed.
How do you mute?
I don't memorize everything, but probably like in settings. Let's see. I don't know. It's somewhere in here. Profile.
Oh,
right
there it is. Mute.
So you can mute people. You can mute words. All right, see you, James. So like when there's like a meme going viral or something, and then you're just over it, you can just mute it for like.
It's like
how many
personalized
ever-
cancel culture.
But it can be just temporary too, you know. It's like if you like following somebody, but they're just being annoying, you can just mute them
It's
for
like a timeout.
You can just mute them for like a week. They don't know that you muted them, so
It's timeout.
you're just giving yourself a break from them, right? Like, it's like if you want to get the most out of Twitter, because in my opinion, Twitter is like one of the best tools in the toolbox, just for life in general. I feel like you can stay 2 steps ahead by just spending a lot of time on Twitter. You gotta use all the tools like mute and block, and you gotta just be aggressive with the way that you use it. Otherwise, you get too much noise and it's too hard to find the signal.